think again, pot fur. But those who do rethink their first answers, rather than staying anchored to them, end up improving their scores. Of course, it's possible that second answers aren't inherently better. They're only better because students are generally so reluctant to switch that they only make changes when they are fairly confident. But recent studies point to a different explanation. It's not so much changing your answers that improves your scores as considering whether you should change it. We don't just hesitate to rethink our answers, we hesitate at the very idea of rethinking. Take an experiment where hundreds of college students were randomly assigned to learn about the first instinct fallacy. The speaker taught them about the value of changing their minds and gave them advice about when it made sense to do so. On their next two tests, they still weren't any more likely to revise their answers. Part of the problem is cognitive laziness. Some psychologists point out that we're mental misers. We often prefer the ease of hanging on to old views over the difficulty of grappling with new ones. Yet there are also deeper forces behind our resistance to rethinking. Questioning ourselves make the world more unpredictable. It requires us to admit that the facts may have changed, that what was once right may now be wrong. Reconsidering something we believe deeply can threaten our identities, making it feel as if we're losing a part of ourselves. Rethinking isn't a struggle in every part of our lives. When it comes to our possessions, we update with fervor. We refresh our wardrobes when they go out of style and renovate our kitchens when they are no longer in vogue. When it comes to our knowledge and opinions, though we tend to stick to our guns, psychologists call this seizing and freezing. We favor the comfort of convictions over the discomfort of doubt, and we let our beliefs get little long, and we get our beliefs get brittle long before our bones. We laugh at people who still use Windows 95, yet we still cling to the opinions that we formed in the year 1995. We listen to views that make us feel good instead of ideas that make us think hard. At some point, you've probably heard that if you drop a frog in a pot of scalding hot water, it will immediately leap out. But if you drop the frog in a lukewarm water and gradually raise the temperature, the frog will die. It lacks the ability to rethink the situation and doesn't realize the threat until it's too late. I did some research on this popular story recently and discovered a wrinkle it isn't true. Tossed into the scalding bowl, Tossed into the scalding pot, the frog will get burned badly, may or may not escape. The frog is actually better off in a slow boiling pot. It will leap out as soon as the water starts to get uncomfortably warm. It is not the frog who failed to reevaluate, it is us. Once we bear the story and accept it as true, we rarely bother to question it.